Good evening, Michele Adams, Corona General Employees Association. I would like to touch on a few things yesterday that kind of were unsettling to me. The first thing was that there was the medical difference. It bothered me that the finance director didn't know what that dollar amount was. If it's truly one of the biggest problems that we're having, how can you not know the impact that that has? I went back to my desk and pulled my spreadsheet that I got from the finance director, and the cost for 16-17 was $1.2 million. So if you phase that out in thirds, like Mr. Montanez recommended, the first year you would save $392,000, second year $796,000, and the third year it would go away. You guys seem concerned that if you didn't do the medical difference, you weren't going to have savings. Also, that is ludicrous. You've already capped our medical, taken away our flex spending, changed overtime, and capped any special pay. You already have substantial savings just right there without the medical difference. So also, it seemed to be unclear where that number of $83 million for a positive variance was coming from. So I'd like to clarify. The city adopts a budget based on a projected number of revenues and expenses. At the end of the budget year, city finance is required to submit a comprehensive annual financial report, or CAFR as it's called. In that CAFR, there's a required supplementary information. This shows the revenues and expenses as adopted in the budget, and at the end of the year, what was actually our revenues and expenses. So first slide, please. So I was afraid they might be really tiny and hard for you to read. But this is from the 2013 CAFR, and it shows a positive variance at the end of the year of $16.9 million. Next slide. This is the 2014 CAFR, positive variance down there in the yellow of $22.1 million. Next slide. This is 2015, positive variance of $25.2 million. Next slide. And this is 2016, positive variance of 19.2. It's been moved up there, but it's in yellow. And then next slide, please. So these are the numbers Russ gave you yesterday. Next slide, please. And that's where that $83 million variance is coming from. Okay, that's it for the slides. Thank you. Another thing I would like to address is if Mr. Fox could quit telling people they should get a second job. It just bugs me every time. We've all had neighbors who lost their home during the recession. Frankly, I find it condescending and offensive. Many of the water and street workers are held over for a storm, a water main break, or high winds. They're also on call. This makes it difficult for them to have a second job. I myself work a set schedule. I suppose I could get a second job. But I'm what you call the sandwich generation. I have my kids at home, and I have elderly parents. My elderly parents are divorced. They don't drive. My dad recently had a stroke. And on my days off, I'm taking one to the doctor and grocery shopping, and my other day, I'm taking the other one to the doctor and grocery shopping. It doesn't leave a lot of time for a second job.
Michelle, I hate...
As you're saying, sorry, you threw me off for a second. So are you saying that we don't need these things, and my parents don't need to go grocery shopping? As a pastor, I'm sure you recognize the value of time with your kids and your spouse. It goes by so quickly. It is much easier for that employee to go get another job that will compensate him fairly, and that is exactly what's going to happen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.